All right, so while we're here on the Ningaloo, I thought I'd talk about our off-grid water setup and what the products that we use and then what has worked for us. So let's jump over the car and show you the bladder. All right, so this is our water bladder. This one is a 140 litre bladder manufactured by a company in Melbourne called FlexiMake. In my opinion, I reckon they're probably one of the best ones around. Not cheap. You can buy some ones off eBay, but I have heard they sort of leave like a residual sort of taste in your mouth, and we do use these occasionally for drinking. They come in a variety of different sizes and sort of shapes depending on your application. To fill them, it's just got a hose that comes out off to the side, and we use this to fill the tank and also get water from the tank. You can obviously fill from this point here, but I actually use this part as the breather. I think this is like a 32mm fitting at the top. Anyway, let's show you the water pump that I've rigged up. What we're able to transfer the water from to the caravan. All right, so I thought I'd take you through the setup that I've got for the water pump. This is all homemade and you can do this yourself. What I'll do is I'll leave a list of parts in the description below of what I used. Majority of the stuff was actually from Bunnings and Super Cheap Auto and a few other bits and pieces. But this is the box. It's just the ToolPRO box from Super Cheap. And inside the actual box itself, is a Shoreflow water pump. Now this actual pump came out of our caravan when I swapped it over to the Seaflow pump. So we're able to reuse this one and it works fine for this application. The fittings here, these are literally just from Bunnings, so these blue fittings, these in and out fittings. Took a little bit of time to sort of work out what I actually needed. And then the hose is just the hose, like a food grade water hose. Now, on this side of the actual box here, we've got an Anderson plug, so this will power the actual pump itself, and then we've got an on and off switch. And then my latest addition, what I did was I actually got a 18 volt to 12 volt adapter for my Ryobi battery. I think this is probably the best thing I've done, and I should have done it from the day one when I made this box up. But literally I can plug this in, and now I have a portable water pump, and I don't need to run any leads. I've got obviously the Anderson plug that I can plug in, and I can plug into the car if I really need to. But in hindsight, if I probably was to do this box again, I probably wouldn't worry about this because since I've put this on, I haven't used it. So it works really well. My recommendation is when you're going to get a water pump, get something with a decent water flow. So this one here is, I think it's about 13 litres or 11.3 litres per minute. I wouldn't get one any slower because the more time that you're sort of transferring, the more power it's going to use and so on and so forth. So get something 11 litres. FlexiMake, when you buy their water bladder, they actually sell a water pump, and I think it's rated to 17 litres per minute. So I reckon that would be a good option. Anyway, what we'll do now is we'll go over and show you how we transfer it over into the tank on the caravan. All right, so one thing I do recommend is in your little kit, I always keep a bunch of little hose fittings because you sort of never know where you're going to be and what you're going to need. So I just normally just throw these in here, and then I've run two hoses. So this one here actually came with the kit I bought from FlexiMake. Make sure you use a joiner because it allows you to then clip the hoses together, and then you don't get water that leaks out into your caravan or anything like that. But this short hose I use to connect from here up to the actual bladder itself. And then I've got a longer hose. So this is just our standard caravan hose that we use to when we connect in at the caravan park. This one then goes from the pump to the caravan, and then we can transfer the water over. So what we'll do now is we'll rig it up and then show you how the transfer process works. All right, so we'll go and connect our water pump box up to the water bladder. Now you can connect it directly to the actual bladder as long as you've got enough hose. Now this one's about 1 metre in length. It seems to sort of work pretty well. And then what I've also done on the box itself, I've labelled the in and the out. That was just so I didn't confuse myself when I went to connect it up. So we'll just connect it up. We can then open up a little tap. So one thing you will need is a little tap on here. Otherwise, when you're traveling, water's just gonna flow straight out of the bladder into there. And then from here, we'll then connect up our long hose to our caravan. So we'll just connect that in. And we come all the way around the back of the caravan, or the side of the caravan. And we just plug him in. Now on my particular setup, I changed the Jayco plumbing for the tanks because I thought it was pretty terrible, and it didn't allow me to bottom feed the tank. You had to go through your standard factory filler points. So what I do is I just isolate the water pump just down here. So, and then I can then select which tanks I want to put water into. So at the moment, we'll just transfer to tank 1 and tank 3. And we just open up this little guy here. And then we come back around to the pump. And then literally, all we need to do, push this button. And now that's starting to transfer. Now the last thing we'll do is we'll just open up the breather. Otherwise we'll create a vacuum in the actual bladder and the pump will struggle. So just unscrew that. Just like that. And now we can transfer our water relatively easily. So this one does about 11.3 litres per minute. And we've got about 140 litres that we need to transfer. So do the math on that. It's about 14 or 15 minutes to do that whole lot. So pretty easily done. All right, so once we've finished transferring all the water out of the water bladder, it's really important that you hang your water bladder up to dry. So what we normally do is once that's finished draining, we'll open up the taps on the end, leave the cap off, and we'll normally just drape it over our toolbox or somewhere like that and sit it in the sun, and that will just allow all the water to sort of drain out. You don't get any sort of mold build up. And from there, it's just a matter of just sort of packing it up. And the beauty is that with a water bladder, is they pack up super small and compact, and they don't weigh bugger all either. So yeah, very good investment and highly recommend. So what I'll do is, as I said before in the beginning of the video, I'll leave a link in the description of where I purchased mine. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by any of these companies at all. And then I'll give you a list of the actual components that you need to build your own. There are a couple of companies out there like Kickass that actually do make their own water pump box themselves. That's all sort of ready to go. Probably not a bad option if you're not too handy, but if you're handy, you probably save a couple of bucks by making your own. Anyway guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button to follow along for some more videos. Until next time, I'll catch you around. Cheers.